Many of us hardly ever stop to think about gravity. We don't usually question why things don't float away or why we stay firmly planted on the ground. But gravity, even though it seems simple, is quite complex. It's natural to wonder what life would be like without it. Could we even survive? Can gravity just vanish into thin air? What will happen if we turn off gravity for 5 seconds or 5 minutes or even 5 hours? These are big questions. But don't worry, scientists have dug deep and found some answers. We're here to share those insights with you. We'll explain everything you need to know as we go along. How does gravity affect our world? Most people don't pay attention to gravity. We might not know how important it is until it's gone. Gravity is the invisible glue that holds everything down to Earth. Without it, life as we know it would be impossible. Gravity is the force that pulls objects towards each other. The Earth, being a large object, has a lot of it. That's why we stay on the ground instead of floating away into space. It affects everything from the smallest pebble to the biggest mountains. One of the most noticeable effects of gravity is how it keeps us firmly planted on the ground. It's the reason we can walk, run, and jump without drifting off into the air. It also holds all the air and water on Earth, creating the atmosphere and oceans we need to survive. Gravity is also the force that keeps the moon in orbit around our planet. It's also why the Earth and other planets orbit the sun. Without it, the planets would drift off into space, and the sun's light and warmth wouldn't reach us in the same way. But it does more than keep things in place. It shapes the universe on a massive scale. It pulls together gas and dust to form stars and planets. It is responsible for the formation of galaxies and the structure of the universe itself. On a smaller scale, it affects our daily lives in many ways. It's the reason why we can pour a glass of water and why rain falls from the sky. It helps plants grow upright, pulling nutrients and water from the soil into their roots and up to their leaves. Gravity even affects our bodies. Our muscles and bones are designed to work against it. When astronauts go into space where there's very little gravity, their muscles and bones can start to weaken because they're not being used as much. This shows just how much our bodies rely on it. It also plays a role in how our blood circulates. It helps keep the blood flowing in the right direction, from our feet back up to our hearts. Without gravity, this process would be much harder. Even the tides in the oceans are influenced by gravity. The moon's gravity pulls on the Earth's oceans, creating high and low tides. This movement of water is crucial for marine life and affects coastal ecosystems. Physical changes that will be experienced by the body. Losing gravity on Earth would have a big impact on our bodies. Our bodies are made to live with gravity. It helps our blood flow, our muscles work, and our bones stay strong. First, we use our muscles for everything, from walking to picking up things. With no gravity, we wouldn't need to use our muscles as much. Over time, they would get weak. Next are our bones. Gravity helps our bones stay dense and strong by putting pressure on them. Without gravity, our bones would start to lose their strength. This could make them more likely to break. Astronauts see this happen in space, and it's a big concern for long space trips. Our hearts and blood would also be affected. On Earth, gravity helps pull blood down to our feet and then pushes it back up to our hearts. Without gravity, our blood would move differently. This could make it hard for our heart to pump blood the right way. Then, there's our balance. Our inner ear helps us keep our balance and know which way is up or down. Without gravity, our inner ear might get confused. This could make us feel dizzy or like we're spinning even when we're not moving. Our body fluids would behave differently too. Normally, gravity pulls fluids down, which is why our legs might swell if we stand for too long. Without gravity, fluids wouldn't be pulled down. They would spread out evenly across our bodies. This could lead to swelling in places we're not used to, like our face. Lastly, living without gravity could change how we grow. Scientists think that without gravity, our spine might stretch out, making us a bit taller. But this could also lead to back problems because our spine is used to being compressed by gravity. What will happen when we lose gravity? For a few seconds. If suddenly there was no gravity for just a few seconds, our world would turn into chaos in a flash. Think about it. Everything not tied down would start floating away. This means cars, boats, trains, and even planes would be tossed around, but not in the way they're meant to fly. Near the equator, where the Earth spins the fastest, things could be thrown for miles. It wouldn't just be things flying around either. People, animals, and even trees would be up in the air. Imagine lakes, rivers, and oceans sending water everywhere. That's a disaster in the making. The air we breathe would start slipping away into space. Losing so much oxygen so fast would be bad news for everyone. The sudden drop in air pressure would be so intense it could damage our ears beyond repair. Gravity holds the Earth together. Without it, the planet would start to swell up because of the pressure from its core. This wouldn't make the Earth blow up if gravity was gone for just a few seconds, but it could cause massive earthquakes and awaken sleeping volcanoes. Out in space, planets, including ours, would start to wander away from the sun. Even if the Earth only moved a little bit in those few seconds, the after effects would be far from minor. When gravity came back, the fall back to Earth would be brutal. Surviving the fall might be just the start of the problems. With the return of gravity, oxygen and the atmosphere would rush back, but so would the aftermath of earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and floods from the ocean's wild ride. The damage would be unimaginable. Cities could be lost in the blink of an eye, swallowed up by the Earth itself. And the toll on life, it would be beyond calculation. Between the debris, the lack of oxygen, and the natural disasters all happening at once, the survival chances would be slim. In just a few seconds without gravity, our world as we know it would be turned upside down, showing how important gravity is to our existence and the delicate balance of our planet. Could we survive without gravity? The simple answer is no. Gravity is like the unseen force that keeps everything in its place on Earth. Will we survive the loss of gravity? If we lost gravity and then got it back, it would be tough for our world and all of us living in it. Now, let's say gravity comes back after a while. This would cause everything floating to suddenly fall back down as discussed earlier. The sudden return of gravity would also cause a big shock to our bodies. Our bodies are used to gravity, but if it went away and then came back suddenly, it could harm our muscles, bones, and other parts of our bodies. The possibility that we will survive this catastrophe is almost impossible. With all the events that follow the loss of gravity, this might be the end of humanity as we know it today. So next time you hear someone talking about gravity, you better pay attention. This is because it's essential to our lives, our world, and the worlds around us. What do you think about this? Have you ever wondered what the repercussions of losing gravity would be? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more captivating content. See you soon.